Hello everyone, New Vegas Ranger. We're here for another Talking Thursday. I decided I was going to talk about something different. Now normally I talk about video games and anime and stuff like that. I figured that today I was going to talk about something different. I was going to talk about a game I've really enjoyed. A trading card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Now I just decided to talk about this. I have a very specific deck and I kind of wanted to show it off because it's apparently something very rare. I've not seen a lot of people use this deck. So I wanted to just show it off to you guys, just show it what it does, and just hopefully you will enjoy it, because I have spent a lot of time working on this deck, and it's a very nice deck. I did not realize how nice it was. So I'll adjust the camera and I'll get to work on showing you the cards I have. Okay guys, so the three main monsters I use in the deck, I use three types. I use Gravekeepers, Malefics, and Earthbounds. I know that seems like kind of a weird combination, but I'll explain why. Gravekeepers use, as you guys know, let me pull it out here, Necro Valley. And Malefics use Malefic World. And it ties in tandem with Malefics in Basic, because all you need is a field spell to run Malefics. So, as long as you have a Malefic, as long as you have a field spell style deck, you can run Malefics and Earthbounds fairly well. I noticed that you don't have to have a Gravekeepers. You can use the Agent deck. I think Lightsworns, maybe. I'm not sure. There's some other major, I think some zombie decks, maybe, that use them. That use a lot of field spells, but you could run a lot with Malefics. But I choose Gravekeepers because I really like Necro Valley's effect, because it's screwed over quite a bit of people. I just enjoy it. And I have a lot of the basic cards, and my kitty just walked across the keyboards. Okay. Now, I have a lot of the basic ones, and sorry for the shine on this. The covers I have on them kind of make them shine a little bit, so sorry for that. I have some of the basics. I have not updated myself a lot on the Gravekeepers. I know there's a new set of them. I have Gravekeepers Ambusher from the new set, but all the other ones are the old ones. Gravekeepers Recruiter, that's kind of a new one. Sorry, that was out of frame. I have Gravekeepers Recruiter. Visionaries, very good. I have added Shaman in. Shaman's pretty useful. I enjoy it, and mostly because it's a very good barrier, but other than that, I just have the basic ones. I also have a Cat of Ill Omen, which is kind of a trap. It basically helps you set a trap if you have the Necro Valley on the field, and Owl of Luck does the same thing with allowing a field spell, and they're just useful to get them anyway. I have Gravekeeper's Chief. I know there's a few I need to add. I haven't added Oracle or Heretic, or one of the other ones, I'm not sure. But next we'll move to the Malefics. I have some of the basic Malefics. There are a few I don't have. I don't have Rainbow Dragon, and I don't have Stardust Dragon. I'm hoping to get Stardust at one point, but I'll probably never end up getting Rainbow Dragon. But I got Blue Eyes White Dragon. I got Malefic Cyber End, Malefic Parallel Gear, which lets me get Malefic Paradox Dragon, which we'll get to. We'll get to that when I look at my extra deck. And Malefic Red Eyes and Malefic Truth. Now, I also don't have all the Earthbounds either. I just have a few, because honestly, I haven't really used a lot of these because they're really hard to get out with this deck. But when you get them out, they're very useful. But I have Earthbound Immortal, Sepakapu, and again, I apologize. The shininess of the cards themselves are making this very hard to see. It's very hard to read their stuff through this. I apologize for that. Earthbound Immortal, Asilapiscu, Uru, and I'm not even going to bother saying that name. The one thing I hate about Earthbounds is their names. They just are insane to say. Alright, so we covered the monsters. We're going to move to the spells next. I'm going to talk about my three field spells first. Necro Valley, Malefic World, and Mausoleum of the Emperor. You probably don't know what Mausoleum of the Emperor is as much as the other two, but what this basically does, it allows me to tribute by paying life points. And it's very useful if I need to get out my Earthbounds, because it also works as a field spell. And most of the time I'll use them, if I've got one or two monsters on the field, I'll just pay 1,000 life points and get them out on the field, just to get it over with. Oh, sorry, I forgot about my unassorted monster cards, because I have a few in here that are not part of a set. They're just really useful. Kangekko Gate, this is just useful for XYZs, which I'll get to my XYZ deck when we get to the extras. Night Assailant's basically a man-eater bug. Trap Eater is it's just like a mystical space typhoon for traps, and it's also a tuner. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. It's a tuner. It's one of the only tuners I have. The other tuner I have is a Knights and Sorcerer. I'm not a very big synchro guy. It's never been. Dark Arm Dragon, super useful because my entire deck is made out of dark monsters. I can summon 3. I just need 3 monsters in the graveyard. And this is as basic, because you need to run Malefics, you have to have the original dragons. So I have Blue Eyes, I have Red Eyes, and I'll have Cyber Dragon in my extra deck, and I also have, do I have another one? No, I don't. Oh, sorry, that's a spell. We'll get to that in a second. And I also have Goblinberg, another one that's just good for getting out XYZs real quick, because it lets you special summon another level 4. And most of my deck is level 4s and level 3s monsters, because that's what most Gravekeepers are made out of. Alright, we'll go to the traps now. First one, my traps are very basic. They're just, Torrential Tribute, Damage Vaccine, Omega Max, just adds life points and stuff. I have 3 Dark Illusions, or 2, I can't remember. Punch in the Box. Punch in the Box is very useful. I recommend this trap to anybody because it's just super useful. You can send one monster to the graveyard and add another and take off attack or defense for the other, and it's just useful. Dark Bribe, Rite of Spirit. This is a Gravekeeper's trap. It basically allows me to bring back a Gravekeeper even though Necro Valley's on the field, which a Necro Valley stops that stuff, so it gets around it. There's my other Dark Illusion. Okay, and now we'll hit to my extra deck. I split these up into my different sets of XYZs and synchros and stuff, and I'm going to go over, just simply say it, that's my only fusion, Cyber End Dragon. I need it for my Malefic. I don't run fusions at all. I don't really have that many synchros. I normally don't. Actually, I probably won't run a few. Let's see, I'm going to save him. I have a Dark End Dragon. This is kind of useful because you can just take off attack and defense and destroy a card. It's kind of useful in a pinch. Malefic Paradox. This is a big one because you can just get synchros out with this. And it's also 4,000 if you guys can see that. Again, the glint's making it hard. But yeah, it's 4,000. It's super good. 100 Eyes allows me to get out a Earthbound when it dies, so it's useful. This card, I don't know if you can read it. Yeah, there we go. Beels of the Diabolic Dragons. This is my end game. Plain and simple. This is my end game. This is the game I win duels with. It is so powerful. I don't know if you guys can read this, but I'll read it to you. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Once you have it out, it's there. You can't get rid of it. And when I take damage from an attack, it gains an attack for that damage. It's just unstoppable. And it's only a level 8 tuner. I was amazed by that. And and the reason why it's my end game is because once it's out, you're done. You just can't fight it. And I love it. But that's really the only reason why I have Trap Eater in my deck. I've actually won 3 or 4 duels by pulling out Trap Eater and then just synchro summoning Beels and be done with the thing. Alright, my XYZs. I have a lot more XYZs than synchros or anything else. Because XYZs I just find are easier to use, basically. Photon Papapilo Papapa. I'm not going to bother saying his name. I don't bother. Just basic. Changes the defense position monsters to attack, and it loses 600 attack. Masquerade is a very fun card. This was one of the only few cards I actually picked up in a card pack. Most of these cards I bought online because I just don't get lucky. I actually picked up Masquerade in a card pack. But Masquerade is very fun. It's pretty high powerful. That sticker in the bottom's covering it, but it's 2,700 attack. And I can detach to deactivate a monster's effect during the battle phase. You take 800 damage, and I get to send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. So it's fairly useful. Wind Up Zen Main, just as good as a barrier if you need it. And sometimes it comes useful in battles. It's just to pull out a barrier real quick and just do that. Giga Brilliant lets you add attack to all your monsters. Just, again, pretty useful. A staple of every deck should be Utopia. Utopia is just useful in general. Like, you guys know what it is. It's one of the biggest known cards. I don't need to explain Utopia. Number 66, Master Key Beetle. This is fun. I like using this in case I don't have a field barrier, because I'll put it on one of my field spells, and what it does is that while this card's on the field, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So as long as this stays on the field, you can't destroy my field spells, and I just like to use it instead of a field barrier. Plus, it's just a good card in general. I can also use it to save one of my Malefics and stuff like that. Alchemic Magician. This is a good card, but I'm not going to lie, I rarely get this out, because I normally don't. It's really hard for me to get 3 Gravekeepers out at once. But what it does, it gains attack for every spell card in your graveyard, and then you get to add like a spell card and set it in your card zone. But I think that is all my cards. I have a few over here that I kind of switch in and out depending on when I use them, but I'm over the limit, right? I just got under the limit, but let's show you these real quick. I have pendulums. I don't use them. I don't like pendulums, and I probably will end up making an entire video about why I don't like pendulums later. But basically, I only use these if I'm actually being like hardcore tournament style, because that's the only time I feel like the need to. If I'm playing with friends, I never use these. They're just, no, I don't use them. Scalesaur is kind of useful. It just lets you summon monsters back after you kill it. Earthbound Wave is a trap card that only activates when you have an Earthbound on the field. I don't play this a lot because, again, it's kind of hard for me to get Earthbounds out, so I normally don't bother keeping that. But yeah, guys, that's my this is my assorted. Let me pick this up. Oh crap! I didn't go over the spells. Sorry, guys. I just realized I didn't go over my spells. Again, my spells are very basic. Double summon, card advance. I really like card advance because I'm able to set up like a row, so I can set up a field spell, a Malefic, an Earthbound, some other cards. It's just super useful for my deck. One Shot Wand is a spellcaster thing, adds an 800 attack. It's a equip card. Dark Hole. Oh, oops, sorry. Dark Hole, you know what that does. March of the Monarchs. This is a very good card for Earthbounds, because if I Tribute Summon with this card in the field, they can't be destroyed by card effects. And Earthbounds cannot be targeted for attack. So they become invincible as long as that card's on the field. It's super useful. Okay. Gravekeeper Steel, another Gravekeeper-specific card. Just lets me bring back 2 Gravekeepers. Book of Moon, changes down defense, face down defense. Field Barrier, basic of every, you guys know what these do. Earthbound Revival, this is a little bit more specific. Allows me to bring back an Earthbound and a field spell. Pretty useful. Royal Tribute lets you discard all monster cards. And another Mystical Space Typhoon. But yeah, that's my deck, guys. That's all my decks. My deck is all together. I've separated them all for you guys. This is all my deck. I know it's not great to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, if you want to try to run this deck, I recommend it. I've had fairly decent. I mean, I haven't ever gone to national tournaments with it, but I feel like I've done fairly decent with running this deck. So if you think you can, I would recommend it. I will say this though off the bat: the Earthbounds will cost you some money, and some of the Malefics will. Some of the Malefics went for cheap, like Blue Eyes and Red Eyes did, but Cyber End and Truth started to get up there in the prices. But Earthbound was for pretty expensive. But other than that, I got a lot of my deck for actually pretty cheap. The only other card I majorly had to pay a lot for was Beals, and that was like $11 for a very good reason, because that card is amazing. I recommend this. If you run Synchros and you use the Dark deck, get this card. Get this card. It is so useful. I cannot stress that enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hold on. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and this New Vegas Reindeer signing off, and till the next duel. God, that was cheap.